This video is how to race multi-day stage races. I've done a few in my time, enduro stage races like the Andes Pacifico and the Trans Madeira. Hopefully some of these tips will help you out with some cross-country stage races as well, or even just some big multi-day rides. A big one, of course, is to fuel and hydrate. So you really need to try and plan how much exertion you can have that day. Andes Pacifico, that's a multi-day enduro race and it's super hot. So actually on my enduro bike, I had a water bottle, so 750ml water bottle with electrolytes because it was like 35 degrees some days. Plus also a camelback for carrying a lot of my kit. I also kept the bladder in there. So I tried to keep 1.5 litres of water on me when I start and then top out throughout the day. I don't like to carry much more than that because any more than 2 litres on your back is pretty heavy. So about 1.5 litres between the bottle and my camelback, and then just top it up when I can. And when I talk about fueling, that's of course food. So I always try and make sure I have a good breakfast in the morning on a big day out. And then I try and carry as much normal food as possible. So things like cereal bars, nuts, even sandwiches. And I rely on gels, energy gels, caffeine gels, basically a sort of last resort if I'm feeling really tired. But the thing is with food, you've got to try and keep eating away throughout the day, every half an hour, every hour, have half a bar or something, but keep eating before you get hungry. Because once you get yourself into a hole, it can really make a difference to your energy levels. So definitely with food, I try and take a little bit more than I probably need for the day. So just looking at my Garmin Connect from one of the days down in Pacifico, it says we were out for 9.5 hours. I burnt 3,500 calories. Not always the most accurate these things, but it was a big day out. Shows my training effects. It was anaerobic. So a big day out, and you've really got to consume a lot of calories as well. You don't want to be in a deficit. Also at the end of the day, I make sure I took a recovery drink as well, just to try and make sure next day was going to be all right. So before any beer, before any wine, make sure you get a big, nice recovery drink after you've had a big day out. Learning how to pace yourself on long multi-day stage races is super important. Something like the Andes Pacifico is a really long, really intense race, so it's dead easy to get carried away, go too hard physically or even just on the bike and crash on day one, skin yourself, and then you've got a long 6 days with a bit of skin missing. I know that one from experience. So try and pace yourself, learn the conditions, really feel how much grip you've got, but also you've got to pace yourself physically as well, because if you go into a hole on day one, you're going to really struggle for the next 2 or 3 days. Preparation is going to be really important for multi-day races. So of course, try and get as fit as you can before you get to the race. You'll often find that your level is the same day to day. So you think, oh, I might have a good day, I might have a bad day, but actually you'll settle into where you are in the race, and however well you've prepared, you'll see it probably every day. So try and get as fit as you can. You'll need to be for big multi-day races. Also try and prepare your bike and the kit you need. So try and pre-plan that as much as possible, especially if we're going somewhere fairly remote like the Andes, where you need to take things like a spare mech hanger, gear cables, things that you know you might need and you might struggle to get when you're there. So be prepared with tools, but also spares. My final point on preparation would also be to try and learn as much as you can about your trails before you go, especially if you've not done that event or that race or been to that location before. So get yourself on YouTube. You'll probably be able to find some POVs or head cams of those trails. Look on Strava, of course, look on Komoot, look on Garmin. Really try and find out as much about those trails and how hard the day is going to be before you go, so you can just prepare yourself as much as possible. Make sure your bike works as well as possible to make your life easy. So try to learn about your terrain by watching those videos, therefore you can choose tyres. So I actually chose downhill casing tyres for the Andes Pacifico. I knew it was going to be super rocky, super rough. Also try and do your suspension setup with all the kit you'll be wearing. So a full face helmet, possibly your backpack and any extra weight. So make sure your suspension set up for all that extra weight. Also try and practice, so go for a ride with that bike, with all your kit, before you get there to make sure it's comfortable. In my years as a racing professional and the last few years at GMBN, of course, I've just done some multi-day stage enduro races. So that is my background really. But this year, it's looking very likely that I'll be doing the BC bike race, which is a multi-day cross-country race. It's something that's completely new to me. So I've got to take the time to set up my cross-country bike for that and actually spend a lot of time on it to make sure it's working nicely and that I'm comfortable as much as anything. I think it's good to use a device to track your progress, so something like a bike computer. For enduro races, I use my Garmin watch, so it's a Phoenix 5, just because I don't need the heads-up display. So this is more about looking at it throughout the day, so maybe on the transitions, just to see how far I've been, how much I've exerted myself, and how much further I've got to go. Of course, at the end of the day, I can download that to my phone and really take a look at the details. Something like a cross-country race where you might want the heads-up display, a bike computer might be the better option. Again, just for really helping you pace yourself, see where you are in the day, and maybe if you can attack or anything like that. But it's definitely nice to have that data to look at the end of the days to make sure you're refueled and ready to go again for the next day. My last piece of advice for a multi-day stage race is to take a friend with you. They can be the best adventures ever, and why not take someone else to enjoy it with you? I did Andes Pacifico a couple of years ago and it was great, but I did it by myself. This year I did it with Blake and it was wicked. Such a good time, except for the end. It didn't quite finish as I hoped it to. But this year I'm doing the BC bike race, hopefully. So if you've not done a multi-day stage race, enduro or cross-country, whatever, have a look online. They're the best things for discovering trails, having big days out on the bike and really doing it with a lot of cool other people. So they're really good fun. I definitely recommend them. If you want to see the video from the Andes Pacifico, click over there for that one. Give us a thumbs up if you're doing a multi-day stage race this year and hit that subscribe button.